Australia versus England in Lahore. They will be eyeing a win because these two teams coming off losses. Australia lost to Sri Lanka, England lost to India 3-0 at home. Lots of changes. We'll go to Australia first. Rohan, no Pat Cummins, no Mitchell Starc, no Josh Hazlewood. And yet, most people will be wary of writing them off because this is Australia and they're a different beast at ICC tournaments.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. Yesterday, Zahir Khan said something. He said Mohammad Shami and ICC tournaments.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You could use that same thing for Australia. Australia and ICC tournaments go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And as an Indian fan from, the 90s and 2000s, there is something that Australia has done to all of us where we think, oh, listen, you never write them off. No matter what injuries they have, what players are missing, what players are out of form, they come back into form in an ICC tournament.
Yeah.
So look, you never write them off. The fact that, you look at the last World Cup, which they won, that game against Afghanistan, Glenn Maxwell on one leg, takes them through, they go through. And look, so you can never write them off. It's one of those crazy things, crazy love affair that Australia has with ICC tournaments.
No comments, no problem, because Steve Smith is a proven captain at the highest level.
No, he's a proven captain at the highest level. And if there wasn't a bit of paper in his pocket, perhaps he would have been a captain for a much longer time. But look, he's a very, very experienced captain. The only thing I'd say in our favour, in the favour of Australia, is that they haven't won an ICC match, a Champions Trophy match since 2009.
3 washouts, 3 losses.
3 washouts, 3 losses. So Champions Trophy is not their favourite tournament for the last 15 years. That's the hope. All the other teams will be looking at that and hoping that form remains.
You're thinking law of averages.
Yeah.
Yes, they won 2006 at the Brabant Stadium. That was their first, and then won again in 2009. That was a phase when Shane Watson was at the peak of his powers. England, on the other hand, coming off a depressing 3-0 loss against India. There was some controversy on why they didn't practice enough. Some said they did. Whatever it was, it just did not work for England. What do England do to come out of that hole they found themselves in?
Which hole? The one in the 18th hole or the 17th hole? Because those are the holes that England has been apparently more concentrating on.
But it's difficult, right? Because you've got to hit the ground running in a format like this, and Australia isn't an easy opening game.
See, your putting game needs to be good.
Correct.
Okay. And I expect to see a few good drives. Especially right up front, 380 yards, 390 yards.
But if if the birdie is a well-wisher, what does he or she say to England? Because it's not an easy game, Australia.
No, it's not an easy game. Look, I think both these guys have now spent about 20, 25, 30 days in the subcontinent.
Yeah.
One in Sri Lanka, one in India. They've both been struggling. So I think both of them are in a situation where let's say, okay, let's set it aside. This is now the big tournament. Whatever has happened has happened. And they'll try and take a fresh look at it. And that's why you'll see that, both of them have got a couple of guys coming in just to change the sort of makeup of the team.
Yep.
Because you need to do a little bit to sort of shake up that group. So, both of them have done that. And I think whoever wins this is going to be the second team in this from this group. I think South Africa are going to go through.
England have already announced their 11 2 days in advance. Out goes Tom Banton, who played in that third ODI against England. And in comes Jamie Smith at number 3. So he goes up to number 3. Let's take a look at England's squad to find out the kind of arsenal they will go with in this opening game. Adil Rashid is a part of that lineup, so is Jofra Archer and Mark Wood. This is, of course, the squad. Bryden Carse is part of that squad as well. As far as the spin bowling arsenal is concerned, it will be Adil Rashid as the lone premier spinner, and Liam Livingstone will have to bat a bit as well. Are you okay with Buttler batting in the middle order, or are they wasting him? Should he be opening? Because they typically go with Phil Salt and Ben Duckett up top.
Well, I think he's the captain.
Yeah.
So he should know best what's best for him, because what's best for him is best probably for the country.
Right.
But I think the problem is when you've got Phil Salt and Ben Duckett, then you're thinking, oh, can one of these bat slightly lower down the order?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, maybe not. Maybe Joss is the guy who has that the capability to adapt lower down the order and maybe play.
Totally agree.
So I think that's why he goes lower down the order. But if you ask him, in a candid chat, he'll probably, any batter
Yeah.
would prefer to open in white ball cricket.
Michael Atherton reckons that he would be the first name on England's all-time ODI lineup. That's the captain, Josh Buttler. They've had two poor ICC tournaments. They had a really horrid defense of their ODI title in that 2023 World Cup. They had an okay-ish T20 World Cup, but to have three successive failures or three consecutive failures in an ICC tournament will put a big question mark on Buttler's captaincy career.
Butler, McCullum, all of them would be, held accountable. Yes, and I agree with his point also that the point is that Buttler is an adaptable player who can capable of reading the situation and playing. That's why he's held himself back.
Yeah.
So I think what they're looking at is all the young bloods go up front. So you're going to see Duckett, Salt, Jamie Smith. These three probably play 1, 2, 3.
And Harry Brook loves Pakistan.
And then and Harry Brook loves Pakistan. He's got a fantastic record in that part of the world. He's played well in the PSL as well. So all sorts of, I think that's what they look at. If they get enough free, one more thing they didn't do in India is that they didn't ever bowl Jofra Archer and Mark Wood together. So Jofra would play or Mark Wood would play, and they were very careful about making sure that Jofra is fit.
Yeah.
With both Jofra, Mark Wood and Adil Rashid, you have three top quality bowlers.
Yep.
I think England's problem is that fifth bowler to get Root and Livingston to give you 10 overs is a bit much. That's where their crucial weakness is. But again, what happened against India is they didn't get wickets up front. If Jofra Archer and Wood get you wickets up front, it could be a very different game.
Lahore Gaddafi Stadium is expected to offer a pitch that will have a lot of runs, and when you look at Australia, you aren't looking at the right side of the graphic, which has the bowlers. You will look at the batters, and clearly Travis Head, ICC specialist Steve Smith, their most experienced batter. Labuschagne is a bit of a surprise in the ODI lineup. Not much from Carey, English, and so clearly it's Smith and Head and Maxwell who have to do the bulk of the scoring for this lineup. They are really the CPU of this Australian force.
Yeah, absolutely, because again, lots of experience, lots of ability. Travis Head has just been magnificent. At the moment, the way he's playing over the last 3-4 years, words cannot really describe the impact he's had on matches.
Yep.
Words can't, but trophies can. You see
And Indians can.
Yeah, words can't, but trophies can. You'll see him with all his trophies that he's won, and that will show you the impact that he's had. Having said that, they've got a few youngsters who need to step up.
Sure.
Jake Fraser-McGurk. He has been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
He needs to step up. He needs to show the kind of skills we know he has, the kind of ability that we know he has. But there's a big difference between potential and performance. That potential now needs to convert into performance.
Spencer Johnson, a threat. Rockets left arm.
No. I think Spencer Johnson is a very good bowler, but it's none of these bowlers are, they are not that, they're top level bowlers. I think for me, the crucial person there is Adam Zampa. Because he's a fantastic bowler in subcontinental conditions. He'll be very good for them. If they can get wickets up front, if Spencer Johnson, Nathan Ellis swings the ball away well, has a decent slow ball, they get you wickets, Sean Abbott comes in, bowls well in the middle, I think they'll be okay. But I still think this is a side that needs runs to be scored.
Max will have to do double duty because there's only one premier spinner in Adam Zampa.
Yeah.
So he will have
Can't
a double
see Sangha
shift.
playing. So yeah, it's got to be Maxwell. Maxwell's going to have to support Zampa.
Right, very quickly, gentlemen.
Travis Head can also bowl a bit, but I can't see him bowling more than 2 and 3 overs.
Yep, he's asked usually to take big catches in big matches. Let's not go there.
Don't go there.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
All of us are 19 November tragics. Very quickly, one player to watch out for, one each.
Well, I just said Travis Head, and words can't describe, and his trophies can't. So we've got to go with Travis Head. And I'm going to go with Harry Brook. Travis Head and Harry Brook.
Good pick.
For me, really, England's they survive on opening partnerships and fast bowlers. So I'm going to go with Jofra Archer. I think Jofra Archer is a crucial. If Jofra Archer looks good and takes wickets, it could make a huge difference for them. For Australia, I'm going to say Steve Smith because I feel that with it's not a young side, but it's a relatively inexperienced international side compared to what they have normally.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Steve Smith is crucial to their chances. He's the guy who's going to be the pivot around everything.